Hello everyone, I am Super Viper T302. I am going to be your commentator for this race. We'll make sure our racers are good and ready to go. Alright. So we'll go ahead and get started, I guess. Alright, and we should be off any second now.
Okay. Okay.
Any second now.
Okay.
Well, we got someone starting. Alright, so if I recall, both of them are on. Yeah, it looks like both of them are in JP. Okay, this is a route I have not seen in a while. Oh, I believe there's a specific polygon you have to actually hit there in order for that setup to work on JP. Where that is a regular skip you can do on the NTSC-U version of the game, but you can go straight through the floor instead of landing on the ground there, because there is actually collision there in the Japanese version of the game for some reason. But the checkpoint system in this track is really wonky because of that, and so you have to land on specific polygons in order for the game to actually count it. So looks like we're going to see Moll here using the blue shell to do a whole lap skip. They're going to actually do double blue, and Smurfy's also getting a blue shell as well. That, wait. Oh, I guess Moll is not doing the double blue shell. Probably makes sense. Familiar with watching the world record strategy, that's probably not a good idea for starting out a race because of how RNG dependent it is to get the triple red shells. So I can respect these two players for just wanting to go for one blue shell. For a start you have to a run like this, it's much better. And it looks like both of them got a decent lap skip there. Coming from someone who's done a lot of tournament races themselves, it's definitely about getting a fresh start, so I can understand both of them wanting to sort of play it safe in the start and just making sure they get out of there in decent time. Too much on the schematics on either of these players in terms of time trial ranking. I believe Smurfy is pretty high ranked, so not sure about Moll, but I'm expecting to see some pretty sick driving from both of them here. A note of is that the character difference. So in case people are wondering, Smurfy is using Yoshi and Moll is using Peach. There is literally no difference between either of those two characters in terms of actual driving. The only difference really is that Yoshi is quicker to select off the Kart menu than Peach, but for the first cup it doesn't really matter since timing starts on starting the cup and not on selecting the character. But for later cups it will matter, so I'm interested to see if they're going to be doing that, if they're going to be using these same characters. So I'm noticing Moll is not really wanting to risk it with the Molls. And that's probably a good choice because of the RNG heaviness there can be. There's a pretty safe route to get through there if you're wanting to go through there and take that turn a little bit tightly, but it can still be pretty easy if you get just slightly off your line to accidentally run into a Moll. And it looks like Smurfy's risking it. This is the safe route you want to do. And that's the risk right there, is if you take that turn just a tiny bit incorrectly and you're not right between those two holes there, you are going to risk accidentally hitting a Moll that just happens to pop out of the ground. Overall, looks like a decently solid Moo Farm time from both of them. Moll having a slight advantage, getting 24s on every lap. That's pretty good consistency. Noko Beach. So this is a track where there could probably be a major difference depending on who gets better RNG from the finish line glitch. So if you're unfamiliar with that, basically there's polygons to the right of the finish line that mistakenly think you are behind by a lap, so you can get items from a farther back place while on those polygons. And optimally, you want some kind of speed item. So this could be really could be an early game changer in terms of RNG, but probably not by more than a couple seconds. Another thing that'll be a factor is whether or not they get that tunnel jump 3 for 3. Lightning, and Mole not even attempting it. I don't know if that's just a safety thing or what. I would presume though that if you are not confident that you'll get good RNG, then not attempting it is probably faster, but sometimes that advantage can be really helpful. Clean tunnel jumps again from both of them. Missing that tunnel jump is really, really disheartening because there is a backup for it, but it can still be really tricky to execute. It still wastes a lot of time. Smurfy got a blue shell. That's probably the worst item you can get because that has the potential to hit you. So not really gaining much of an advantage by doing the finish line glitch, but still rocking a very, very small lead. This is still really close, but it is early on. So it looks like Mole gained even more of an advantage by just deciding to not attempt the finish line glitch at all. Now it's time for Calamari Desert. I'm really interested to see how this is going to turn out because depending on what item RNG these two players get, this could make or break who ends up taking the lead after Mushroom Cup, and this could really set the stage for the rest of this entire race. I want to curse either of them. We're going to see what happens. And Maul gets triple reds. That could be terrible luck for Smurfy right there. That is literally the worst item you could get. And Maul getting a lightning as well. That's not entirely useful at all. Alright, triple mushrooms. This is not very friendly RNG so far. Okay, there we go. Now Smurfy's got the star, so now Smurfy's going to be able to do the lap skip on lap 2. Mole just tossed away triple reds, and Mole just got the star. To do the skip on lap 2, but that was some pretty rough RNG on both ends. But it looks like Smurfy had a slight edge despite getting that one golden shroom. Sure, they drive far back enough in the tunnel because that is a mistake you can make on this course. Activate the star and then don't drive far back enough in the tunnel, then when you drop back, the lap doesn't count, and there's no way to fix that, so you just lost a bunch of time. You get that lap skip. Pretty close after Koopa Troopa Beach, but if I had to guess, the difference, aside from RNG, because they both seem to finish lap 1 at around the same time, the difference probably comes from lag. Because this track is pretty laggy due to the train. Maul doing their best to reduce some lag right here. And don't be alarmed by the reset. That is just the standard for this. That is just the standard for this category, is to reset after every cup. And Maul once again going with Peach. And now it's Smurfy time. Smurfy is ready to attempt the worst shortcut in the game. It's not easy to get that jump 2 for 2. That should work for the wrong warp. That looked above the road to me. He did land slightly off the edges, but it really is when you do the jump that matters. It doesn't really matter if you land on the road or not. As long as you're above it when you jump from the higher level to the lower level, you're good. Mole also getting a really solid jump. That also looked really good. Spent a little bit longer trying to set it up. All right, that worked for wrong warp. I was not concerned about that at all. Able to get that broken checkpoint system that allows them to just warp halfway across the track. Good banana placement. Keeping track of where they place bananas so that if they ever do run into bananas or fake item boxes, I can tell if it's one a CPU shot out or one that they shot out. Also, clutch lightning dodge there from Mole. we're going to get pretty solid Toad's Turnpikes here, assuming neither of them run into any vehicles or anything. I don't think... Oh! Jinxed. Commentators curse right as I said that. Moll runs into a vehicle thanks to a banana spin out, but... Still nailing all the shortcuts. That's really all you can ask for in a no reset. Relatively slow to get through those two vehicles. Don't blame him one bit. Okay. Fight from Smurfy. That's a really solid time for a race. I think Moll is going to be that much slower. Yeah, looking like a time in the high 140s, I'm presuming. $49, still respectable. That still saves like roughly, I want to say 40 seconds over an average no skips run of that course, so pretty good. The struggle there is getting the shortcuts fast enough to net time save. Because you can spend countless attempts trying to get that, especially the jump from the higher level to the lower level on lap 1. You can spend countless attempts on that and just lose so much time. Making it pretty safe on a frat face in LA and not doing any crazy start boosts at the start. I don't need to say much for this track because it's literally the easiest shortcut in the game. I noticed Moll is not using A-B spins to reorient his angle that much. Three for three. Alright, Chaco Mountain is really going to be an interesting course, so I'm not sure what kind of wall jumps these two players go for. I presume Smurfy goes for the full wall jump here. I don't think we're going to be seeing any weather tanko attempts. I don't think either of these players are that crazy. Yep, Smurfy's going for the gets it first lap. That's very nice. That's an insanely hard jump, because not only is it frame perfect, sometimes it just doesn't work, because it's literally impossible. So we should be seeing Smurfy attempt that on all 3 laps, and then going for the backup jump if he needs to. Moll, I expect, will probably be something similar. Not sure if I can blame the banana placement for that one, but hit was a little too high up on the wall. Nice backup jump, though. Doing the backup jump that far up is incredibly difficult because of how high the wall is up. So you really, really need to get a good jump. And is Moll just not attempting any wall jumps here? I didn't see him go for either. Yeah, that's seems like an average no skips lap time, so Smurfy getting it 2 for 3 for a no reset. That's insanely good. Yeah, that was a very solid Chaco from Smurfy, saving a lot of time over Moll, assuming Moll just doesn't end up going for any of the jumps. No. That's what I was talking about earlier, about how sometimes bananas can just be placed in absolutely atrocious spots. Those were definitely banana CPUs placed, because it's very unlikely that you will actually place a banana there yourself. Imagine Smurfy is going to be attempting to get red shells here. Would probably be really nice. Oh no, Smurfy's just doing no skips, it looks like. I can respect that, I guess. It would save a fair amount of time, but in a race, especially if you have this much of a lead, it's probably better to just stay consistent. And I think Moll attempted the wall jump there, but I couldn't tell I was paying attention to Smurfy. But I saw him tumble on the hill there, so could have been an attempt. Big time stay for Smurfy, being able to execute that well the Chaco. Stadium is coming up, and that can definitely be one where it could flip-flop easily, because they're both probably going to be going for both wall jumps in that course. Now, I'm interested, if Smurfy gets a mushroom here... Okay, no. I was interested, if Smurfy were to get a mushroom, would he have gone for the wall jump that you would see in time trials? That would have been really interesting to see. I wonder what Moll is going to attempt here. Is also doing no skips. A second reset of the run. That was a few frames slower than optimal, but, you know, gotta make sure you cross the finish line, because Oh, that was an interesting finish line glitch. I think I heard about that, but apparently a finish line glitch is also possible in Mario Raceway, because you can't get a lightning in first place, but I saw it, the place counter go to 8th place for a few frames, so I would imagine he was just trying to get some kind of speed item. Murphy, that's pretty much all you can ask for in Wario Stadium on real life, and already getting 0 framed. This first wall jump is not terribly hard, but once you screw it up, it seems like it takes like 3 more tries to get it. Oh, that's really unfortunate. Barely landing on the other side of the finish line. That's really not what you like to see. A very solid second attempt there. Here it goes. Now it's starting the 0 frame chain. Oh, never mind. Really, really good Wario Stadium from Smurfy. Anything in the 30s is really, really good. And Moll's coming up on the end of Mario Raceway. So Moll's got a really, really tough Wario Stadium to compete against. If he can get a sub 30, then that's gonna help a little bit. But that's gonna be a really tough one to match. Wario Stadium just loves to just mess you up in runs. From shortcuts, as Smurfy's going to be tackle Sherbert Land. Let's see what kind of Wario Stadium Moll's gonna get. Waiting for the CPUs to move out of the way. Interesting strategy there. Now he's going to be attempting this one. Taking his time to set it up. That's the safer way to set up that second wall jump. It works a lot more consistently, and you're more likely to not get stuck on the top, which can happen, and also to make it over on the correct side of the finish line. Although if you get 0 framed, it's usually tends to be a lot harder to set it up, because the triple tapping A to accelerate, it seems to be really wonky here for some reason, where sometimes it feels like if you get 0 framed and then don't wait long enough, you don't go to full acceleration right away. Moll losing a little bit of time on this Wario Stadium. If he can get this last wall jump, then still not terrible. Oh. Yeah, this last wall jump really likes to mess you up. You just get 0 framed over and over again. But still under a minute. Still respectable. Of Sherbert Land. This tends to be a course that, if you're pretty consistent at driving, this tends to be a course that goes pretty well, provided you don't almost run into a banana like he did there. This is if you know the penguin cycles, it's usually pretty consistent to get through here, as long if you don't make any major mistakes. Be seeing either of these players falling into the water or anything. Now that I've said that, I just guaranteed that Moll was going to, but we'll just pretend I didn't say anything. Yeah, very, very solid Sherbert Land from Smurfy. Getting 31s on all 3 laps is really, really good. So another thing I'm going to be interested to see is if either of these players attempt the ramp jump on Royal Raceway in addition to the regular shortcut, because it doesn't really save that much time. It saves like half a second at best, I think, if you execute it properly. But Smurfy does have a pretty sizable lead, so if he wants that time save, he could go for it. Obviously, he's going to be going for this shortcut on all 3 laps, though, because it just saves too much time. Moll barely dodging a fake item box there. That would have been a massive time loss if he hit that. It looks like he's going to make it, but he's getting a slow tumble there. Optimally, you want to hit the wall sort of to the right there, because then you won't get that like large tumble and you'll just fall straight into the water. But that's a little bit slower. But as long as he still made it, if you don't get placed down there, you lose like 10 seconds. He's seeing Smurfy go for that on all 3 laps. Oh, looks like he messed up his setup for the regular skip there. If you don't have a whole lot of speed, then doing that skip without taking this time to set it up can be really, really tricky. Alright, this is looking like a much better ramp jump. That should work. Yeah. Like consistent Sherbert Land getting 32s on all 3 laps. Very nice utilization of that mushroom from Smurfy. You gotta make sure you're in the right alignment for that, because the collision there, there's parts of that wall that are not, there's parts of that floor that cause you to just tumble, and if you tumble in the wrong spot, then you'll just fall straight into the water, so that can be a pretty risky shroom to go for. Good from Smurfy. And that's the good tumble for that ramp jump there. Again, it doesn't really save too much time, but Smurfy had the lead, so he had a little bit of leeway in going for that, but it paid off. That was a very solid Royal Raceway. Deciding to safe it out and not bother going for it, that's also a decision I respect. Because again, it literally saves like half a second at best if you get it. And that section's not usually very terrible to drive. So we've got another non-shortcut track that's going to be probably mostly standard. I imagine we're not going to be seeing too many slip-ups across these swamps here. Oh, Moll actually messed up the shortcut. I didn't see. It looks like he just didn't go far enough, I'm guessing. That would work. This was a really interesting track because, at least for me, I don't know if a lot of other players could say the same for all cup runs. Bowser's Castle is kind of that one track that never seems to go the same way twice because the swamps do operate on cycles, but chances are you're not going to drive this track the exact same way every time. There's always going to be very subtle differences in your lap times. And so after the first lap, it really seems like the swamps are almost always on different cycles every single time. In no reset runs, you really kind of have to work on improvising. That was a very clutch move from Smurfy there. I saw him kind of slow down there to avoid hitting that swamp that as it was moving by. He came very close to hitting it there. Just finishing up Royal Raceway as well. Only 7 seconds slower than, well, around 7 seconds, 7 to 8 seconds slower than Smurfy's Royal Raceway, just because of that one missed shortcut. So, about roughly an entire Bowser's Castle race behind, maybe a little bit less than that. So Smurfy definitely has a sizable lead. Definitely mostly gained that from Choco and Mountain and Wario Stadium. The two wall jumping courses, of course. Rounding out Bowser's Castle with a pretty solid time. Probably in the low 150s. Kind of slow on those swamps there. That's probably makes sense. If you don't know what cycles they're going to be on, it might be better to just slow down than just to try and wing it and go all the way through them. Smurfy selected Yoshi for Special Cup, so we're probably not going to be seeing a Rainbow Road CPU jump attempt. I highly doubt it. The race technically isn't over yet because RNG on Rainbow Road has determined races in this tournament before, so it could very well determine this race. And Rainbow Road is a pretty good place for runs to die. To get through 3 other tracks, and DKJP is not exactly terribly forgiving either. Smurfy did get that lap skip. It does work if you land in the water like that. You don't have to land back in the cave. It's just a few seconds slower. And that's the optimal way to do that shortcut there. Loss is if you just flat out don't get the lap to count. The lineup for this trick is relatively precise. Alright, again, this is going to work, I assume. We'll have to see where he gets placed down. Okay, yeah, that works. And he has a banana, so he's going to hopefully be able to reduce some lag during this point screen. Oh, that slope is kind of annoying to climb again, because if you try being a bit too hasty with it, then you hit the part of it where you just tumble. Behind him to reduce lag this entire point screen. That's going to save a lot of time. That was a very clutch spin out cancel there from Moll there. He was about to spin out before he went over that jump, but he was able to save it just in time. I think you can make it across there if you spin out, but it's better to have that safety precaution. Gonna go for here on Yoshi Valley. I imagine we're not going to be seeing a triple shrimps attempt from either of these players. Yeah, Smurfy's just going to do the regular right side shortcut. And I assume he's just going to hope to get a speed item. You're generally in a lower place when you're in that part of the track at this point in the race. Speed item. So unless he gets a mushroom from one of the next couple item boxes, he's probably going to have to do that shortcut again. Classic CPU coming out of nowhere to just completely ruin your day. I guess you didn't push him into the pit. That would have been a lot worse. That is one of the disadvantages of playing as a lightweight character, is that almost every single character is heavier than you. Runs into you and they're moving slightly faster than you, then you're going to spin out. Smurfy's not even taking the chance to get another item, just going straight into the grass, probably going to attempt the right side shortcut again. And meanwhile, Moll is going for the DK skips. Smurfy, very nice Yoshi Valley. Pretty safe Yoshi Valley. Moll, able to sort of match Smurfy's DKJP because Smurfy had a little bit of some struggles with his DK, but Moll took it a lot safer, but ended up playing it a lot more consistently, and ended up getting a much more solid DKJP with the strats he went for. I don't think either of these players are going to go for the CPU jump because neither of them are playing as Toad, but Smurfy does have good rivals. He has Wario and DK in the top 4 with him, so I assume he got those two to be his rivals. By the way, for those who don't know, the rivals are just 2 CPUs that are chosen at random when you select your character that sort of drive it. Oh, that is a horrible mistake to make. And Moll missing the right side shortcut. The lineup for it is not exactly easy to gauge, but yeah. That's a very easy mistake to make on Banshee Boardwalk, where you're too far to the right when you try to make that gap jump, and so that pillar sort of bounces you to the left, and then you fall in the water because you can't make the jump after that. Moll has triple mushrooms, so if he wanted to, he could attempt the lap skip on the next 2 laps. It would save him a lot of time. Now it looks like he's getting ready to set up for it. Using a very odd way to get into position for it, and a very... that does not look like the right visual cue. Yeah, now that's the better lineup. So yeah, this will work. So he has 2 shots at it for lap 3 here. And I assume he'll get it on at least one of these attempts, hopefully. Yeah, that looks good. Hit for Moll. Still roughly an entire Banshee Boardwalk behind Smurfy, but Rainbow Road again could be a game changer. But we'll just have to wait and see. And it looks like Smurfy is going to have a heavyweight finish in 2nd place. Again, I don't imagine he's going to go for the CPU jump, but he could if he wanted to. What rivals does Moll have? Yeah, it looks like Moll has Toad and Wario maybe as rivals. Wario seems to be up there, but mostly lightweight rivals, it looks like. Kind of hoping Smurfy to try pulling out the CPU jump, but we're probably just going to see a regular shortcut from him. Yeah. That should work. Yep, very beautifully executed. So now it's just up to RNG. Can he get a green shell in time? Well, mushrooms are fine for now, but he needs to have a green shell by the end of the lap, or else he's really only going to get a couple attempts at the skip there. So that's preferred because... Okay, he just kind of shot them all away. Don't know why he did that. Maybe he's just not familiar with... He probably did that because he's not very familiar with doing the setup with triple greens, because since they rotate around you, when you fire them off, they're all going to fire off at different trajectories. And with a single green, it's always consistent, so that's probably why he did that, if I had to guess. 2 green shells here, so he has at least 2 attempts at this. He does have to get this relatively quickly before the CPUs catch up, otherwise he'll have to drive an entire lap. So let's see what kind of setup he uses for this. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. Oh, far to the side. So he still has that backup green, so he still can get this, but he pretty much has to get this now or else it's going to be really tight. Yeah. If he doesn't get it this attempt, he might be in trouble. So now he's going to have plenty of time to get another green shell for the second attempt at it. So unless Moll gets like 5,000 bananas here, he pretty much has this in the bag. But or unless Smurfy gets like 5,000 bananas, Moll is just starting Rainbow Road. And yeah, also had Wario in second place, but didn't bother to go for the CPU jump either, just doing the regular shortcut. Totally reasonable. At least too far to the side. But Smurfy has plenty of time here, and Moll also got his green shell, so we'll have a decent shot at it at least. Ugh, this green shell skip is just... Oh, and he just shot out that other green. I don't know if that was on accident, or maybe he just pressed Z out of rage. Certainly making the race a little bit closer. Alright, so Smurfy pretty much has it in the bag now. Just has to cross the finish line for lap 3. And looking like a high 29, that's pretty darn good for a race. Rex. And there we go. 29.43. Getting set up for his first green shell attempt. Might be able to save a little bit of time at least. Yeah, that was very clean. I need to mark this done. There we go. So it looks like now all I need to do is wait on Moll to get his next green shell, and he's getting RNG'd. That's pretty typical. Hey, Smurfy. Smurfy, can you hear me? There you go. Alright, that's a pretty solid run, all things considered. Yeah. I can't really think of much that went wrong outside of just some unfortunate RNG here and there.
Yeah, it's just Rainbow Road, really.
Yeah. And also, Calamari could have been better RNG. But it looks like Moll is finishing up, getting a level 31. That's also pretty good for a race.
I think his PB is a level 31. I think he's like a second off PR. Yeah.
This PB by 1 second. Wow, that is really unfortunate. But still a really solid Rainbow Road to finish it off. G24 is not bad at all.
Yeah, my Rainbow Road, I lost an entire minute according to my splits, so it could have been a 28 if that had gone properly.
Still really solid runs from both runners.
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
Really, the time losses seem to come from you just playing it a bit more aggressively in certain areas than Moll did, because Moll, you seem to be around even in terms of driving skills. And it's just that Moll just takes a little bit longer to set up certain skips. Like DK Jungle Parkway was a really good example. Like you both had roughly the same time there, but played it a little bit safer, so his laps were just overall slower.
Yeah, there's a little bit of that.
Oh, really solid runs from both runners. There's Moll. How are you feeling?
Yeah, that went quite well. To be honest, I was disappointed not to get the earlier green to get the PR at least on Rainbow Road. I missed my PR by 1 second. So
yeah, I saw that. That's really unfortunate, but still a really solid run, all things considered. Like that's definitely better than your average race time.
To be honest, I'm expecting to get quite a big PR at some point soon.
So I'm interested, Smurfy. Do you normally go for triple reds on Mario Raceway, or did you just decide to not do that for this race?
No, I don't go for them.
Okay, so you just don't. You just do Mario Raceway non-shortcut.
If I got a shroom, I would have gone for the wall jump. But,
okay, yeah, that's kind of what I was assuming. But I imagine, yeah, at this level, you don't really need to be worrying about that, even though it is a pretty big time save. But
yeah, with my PR that I got the other day, going forward in PB attempts, I do red shells, but I'm just not remotely practiced enough on it to try to do it in a race.
Yeah, in a race, especially because it is a high risk, high reward factor. I would say where it can save a ton of time, but if you don't get the proper RNG, or even if you get good RNG but you fail to execute it properly, it seems like I personally don't do that strat myself, but it does seem like the kind of strat where like if you mess it up too many times, then you're just gonna fall so far behind.
So, did you have any eventful things happening on your run, Smurfy? I didn't watch any of it. I had Discord closed. I had all the streams off. I just had some classical
I
music
can't really
on.
think of anything too significant.
Yeah, it was just Rainbow Road. I missed the green shell skip, I think, like 4 times. I missed, but I got it quick enough the first time that I didn't have to go around the lap. So
I was fishing for a star for what felt like forever on KD.
Yeah, both of you got pretty bad RNG on KD. That was,
I missed.
I think Smurfy got a gold shroom.
Yeah, I missed Toad's Turnpike, but then I got it with the correct setup straight away on the second attempt, which kind of calmed things down a bit. Choco, I thought I'd been practicing a couple of runs the last couple of days, and Choco has been going horrendously for me. So I just thought
I'm gonna actually pull the spreadsheet real quick. Sorry, keep going, Moll.
Yeah, my Choco view was to do it non-shortcut, and if I had a good enough lead over the CPUs on the last lap, just have one go at the big one. In general, things went pretty well. I was a bit annoyed at missing the first Yoshi Valley shortcut. I went a little bit too far left, but I picked up triple shrooms, so it only lost me like 15 seconds.
Yeah, the triple shrooms definitely helped you out there.
Well, even one shroom would have been fine, because then I could have done the shortcut with the shroom.
Or if you got a golden shroom, you could have YOLO'd it on the second lap.
No, I would have just gone for the ordinary shortcut on lap 3 to finish anyway, because it takes me a while with my eyesight to actually find the correct spot to do it, so it's not really any quicker me doing the shroom one, maybe a second or two. But in general, things went pretty well. It seemed like every single track I was having to take evasive action on bananas constantly.
Oh yeah, I saw that. The banana placement seemed kind of rough for both of you, but you managed it really, really well.
Like on my Luigi Raceway Blue Shell, I actually hit a banana, spun out, waited a little second to straighten up again, then fired the Blue Shell and did it. It was that's actually what set me at ease. So I'm really happy. I mean, I kind of knew I was never going to beat Smurfy. He's like three minutes faster than me on PR.
It was still a pretty close race. It was really Choco Mountain where Smurfy really pulled ahead, and then I think even more so at Wario Stadium.
Yeah,
Wario. I think I had 2 good laps on Wario and one which I just couldn't get over.
Still under a minute.
Wario was going really well for me in practice too. I was like, please let this happen in the race too.
So
yeah, the 34 Wario Stadium is really, really solid.
I got some nice tips on Wario Stadium earlier today from my next round opponent, so thank you, Zoki.
Yeah.
Well, GG's to both of you. Either of you have anything you want to say?
I'd just like to say good luck against Matthias Smurfy.
Yeah, thanks. Good luck to you too.
That's gonna be a tough opponent.
Well, you got a faster time than he did today, so.
Yeah, I think actually in this category for a race, we're actually pretty well matched. So.
Yeah, that's gonna be very good. I'm very excited to see how that turns out.
And I'll be having a race against Zoki. I think we got similar times today. I think he was probably like 20 seconds quicker or something. So I'm hoping if I get a few more days to actually put some practice in, I might be able to learn a few more skips, cut down a bit of time, give him a race. Thanks for doing the comms, Super Viper. I didn't hear any of it, but I will watch it back. And
thanks a lot, Viper. It's great commentary.
Right. Thanks to the millions and millions upon millions of people watching on SpeedGaming. Hope you enjoyed the match. And
123 million of them.
Continue to go on enjoying the rest of the tournament.
All right. Have a good night, everybody.